Hey boys and girls, we're back again. And today what we're going to talk about is NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness. All NVH comes from vibrations of some sort. So there's lots and lots of different ways of making things not make noise. One of them is like the little case we showed you before. This is where on the Model 3, it's got this little case over the top of the compressor, because even in ICE vehicles, if you've got a conventional car, if it hasn't been jacked, then you're going to find that the NVH is the biggest amount of NVH coming under the hood is going to be the compressor. So you can encase it with little foam things like this, or you can do something else. You can use materials that are different than what you'd think. So this little blue golf ball, I'm going to drop it, and you're going to get a chance to see what happens with this stuff here. It's called EAR. Now I will tell you, this is probably the deadest thing you can get, and we use it inside of airplanes. So kind of like watch what happens when I drop it. It's like grandma's meatballs. It don't bounce. And actually, this thing's quite old, but when I first got it, and if I dropped it, it would just stick there. Now, this stuff, you can have fun with this. I don't golf very well. And one time, some guys took me out golfing, and they put a golf ball down, and I hit it, and it basically exploded. And it had not just a little bit of excitement like a firecracker, but also it was filled up with talc. They thought it was hilarious. I couldn't get that talc off forever, and my wife wanted to know why it smelled like baby powder. So I had to get him back. So I took the instigator. I found out who the instigator was for that, and I waited a couple of golf trips, and then I got one of these, and I put it on his tee, and I said, "Here, try this. It's a new kind of golf ball. It's supposed to go 100 miles. I can hardly wait to see what you can do with it." Hitting this with a golf club is like hitting a cement block. So I get back at people. But anyway, we're not going to do that today. Today what we're going to do is we're going to look at how the Tesla Model Y has addressed the issues associated with NVH. So I will tell you right now that even the guys in ICE have to do this, or they do it. But even the guys with EVs have to do it as well to get rid of those things that cause NVH or noise inside the cabin. So let's start over here with the outside of the front of dash. So right here is a mat that goes all the way through the product, and this is made out of lofted fiberglass. Basically, that's a fancy name for saying that it's covered in cloth on both sides, but inside is fiberglass, and fiberglass is a good insulation. You know that because it's what you use for insulating your house. It's also good from a sound standpoint, so that's what we've got outside here. Let's go and look in here a little bit, and we'll start off with the mat that's on the other side of the firewall or the dashboard. So it's PUR, which is polyurethane, and that's touching the skin, the sheet metal, and then on the outside it's TPO. There's a bunch of different materials that it could be that you could use, but in this case we think this is TPO. Then and what that does is it sucks up noise that's coming from the motor compartment. So the next thing you're going to see is this. This is pumpable. Now this is put on with a robot. And everybody's going to say, "Oh, the robot must have lost its mind because look, it's big here and it's narrow there." And what? That's not a coincidence. That's calculated. When you design a car, you run it through something called FEA, finite element analysis, and that can give you that'll tell you where you're going to get vibrations, or in this case they call it drumming. This drumming can be calculated and identified, and then you can knock it down by putting in a pumpable grade. This is rather hard. And what it does is it just stiffens up the metal in those areas. If we look a little bit further back, we can see mastic. Mastic is like big tape, and you put it on, put it on after it goes through the E-coat, but before you go into paint. And what happens is when you lay this stuff down, it sticks by itself, and then when it goes through the ovens for the paint, it puffs up and it glues itself forever down to the floor pan. Let's move a little further back and look at what we've got here in the rear compartment. So cars are inherently noisier at the back end than they are in the front end. And so to get rid of that drumming noise, the top section here has been, I've used pumpable sound deadener in a couple of stripes there to dampen where the aluminum or well, in this case it is aluminum, where the aluminum will vibrate based on resonance that come from the wheels and all kinds of other things. So you've got that over there, and then over here you can see they got TPO skin with PUR underneath it again, trying to make sure that everything is as dead as it can possibly be. Now, we see lots of stuff. Occasionally we get a surprise, and I know that there's going to be about 500 people that are going to send me a little note and say, "You planted that." Well, no, I don't think so. This is what we found here. If I can get it out. I couldn't believe my eyes. Now, this is something I would go to Joanne Fabric for. I couldn't believe it when we saw this. We thought it was kind of really, really funny. I've never seen anybody just put a brick of foam in here before, but it is what it is. And next time, when we take off that speaker, we're going to reach in and see if we can find another one of these, and we'll tape it live so that the people who think we're just pulling your leg aren't really. They'll know what's going on. So let's go over here and talk about the cooling system. So this is the radiator and the bracketry and whatnot needed to support it. So let's look at this a little differently, because most of the time what you've got in a car is that the radiator is vertical. This one here is just sitting at 30 degrees. So it's taking advantage of a low center of gravity, but it's also what it's doing is it's trying to save as much space as it possibly can. Now, before we go into what this is doing and how it's doing it, let's look at this. So we've heard plenty about how the Model Y has about 70% of the same parts as the Model 3, but you can see right here that these two parts, this part here, and that's the Y obviously, and this part here, which is the Model 3, they don't look the same at all. So the other reason for that is because in the Model 3, the radiator was quite small. It was very small. This one here is quite a bit bigger. We looked at this, and with the way that it's designed and whatnot, it's a little different than what we normally see. But the one thing we do like is the active shutters. So if we have a look here, and we look inside, you can see that the radiator is sitting right in there. But a lot of times, I don't want that radiator to be cooled. So the active shutters can be energized so that the coolant, or the rad fluid that's going through there, can be heated up while no air is going through. So the biggest enemy for batteries is cold, not hot. So anyway, this is kind of this is doing a good job, and for what it's doing. And we can see that they've tried to make some changes to alleviate bolts. We found that this one's got 5, that one's got 6. taking out a bolt here and there is a good idea. I don't advocate too many threaded fasteners because they always have a tendency to fail. They're the biggest contributor to failing in any kind of a product design. So let's move over here. So let's talk about what Munro does for a living, for really. We analyze lots of products, and that's what this is setting out to show. The first one that we actually analyzed was the BMW i3. Now, this is just cover sheets that that were used in a flyer. So it kind of tells you, what's going on, how much it costs. So in this case, this is looking at this cradle. So the purchase items cost is $1.61. The material cost was $58.29. Processing cost was $26. SG&A was $1.46. Scrap was 88 cents. Profit was $2.61. Cost of buying components, 6 cents. Logistics was $3.60 for a total of, for that thing, $94.04. So the reason that I don't have the report for the BMW i3 here is because it has 56,000 pages. That is correct, 56,000 pages. It's the most extensive study we've ever done. We won't do another one like that. The other stuff that you're looking at here are the things that we did on the Tesla Model 3. So this is what a report looks like. It's about that thick. This has got thousands of pages associated with it, and it does pretty much the same thing as the other ones do. It tells you all of the costs associated with each one of the individual pieces. And the reason that people are interested in this sort of thing is because they want to try and compare their products with Tesla. So they do it internally with most OEMs, but if you don't do it, you're in jeopardy. So we have a little expression here. It's not by us. It's by this guy, General Sun Tzu, probably the most famous general of all time. And he says, know yourself, know your enemy, win every battle. Don't know yourself, but don't know your enemy. You're in a win one, lose one situation. Don't know yourself or your enemy, you're always in peril. This is kind of like the way that we help people develop products. And this is our product development schedule. This is a cruder version. It's the only one that I've got on paper. But at the end of the day, what we do is help people design products that beat their competition as a rule. So let's look at the Model 3. One of the other things that people for the Model 3 wanted was side by side. They wanted to know what the Model 3 looked like compared to the BMW and the Bolt. So this has been shown a number of times. So that's kind of the things that people would want to know about to find out where their particular product is better or worse. So you look at this, and now what we're looking at is where the prices are. So it's like a little Pareto diagram. And then over here, we're also selling another thing. This has got more information in it than just the small three side by side. This one looks at every type of motor that you can see out there. These are very, very detailed. But they weren't detailed enough because our customers came back and said, well, we don't care about some of these. We really care about a few others. And so the Tesla Model 3, the I-Pace, and the Nissan Leaf, they're the three out there that everybody wants to know about for not just the motor, but also the inverter converter. And that would include things like, how do some of these ICs work? So we have people that can reverse engineer those, and that's what's going on here. But we can tell you for sure that we can do things like, we worked on the Globemaster. That was $42 million that we pulled out of that. We worked for NASA. We worked for the Department of Defense, like the Stryker mobile gun. This is studies that were done for the EPA and for CARB and for different things like that. And then we also, the products that everyone is talking about now, the Respirators, we worked with most of the respirator companies to try and reduce the amount of cost and make it easier to put together. We also, if the truth be known, we also work on a lot of white goods. So this is the reverse engineering of a microwave. This is a hot water heater. And then we also kind of, let me put my thumbs in the right places. We also work on trying to reverse engineer ice engines. We have probably analyzed or reverse engineered maybe 100, 150 engines. So there you go. Now, I think that's pretty much it. That's more commercial than I was planning on. But anyways, boys and girls, I hope you have a wonderful day. Tip your cashiers and stay healthy. Bye.